Hey Cowboys fans, let's break down everything happening with the Dallas Cowboys right now because this season is already shaping up to be full of questions, opportunities, and big moments for America's team. The most exciting news on the defensive side of the ball has been the official signing of Jaden Clowney. He is now part of the active roster, and honestly, this is the kind of addition that can completely shift the momentum of a defense that has had its struggles in stopping both the run and the pass in recent seasons. Clowney brings a wealth of experience, elite pass rushing skills, and a kind of physicality that can immediately impact the way opposing quarterbacks and offensive lines plan their game. At 32 years old, some might question whether he still has that edge, but Clowney himself has made it clear that he feels he has plenty left to give, and he is coming into this season with a mindset to prove himself on primetime stages. Of course, adding a player like Clowney doesn't happen in isolation. The Cowboys had to make room for him, and that meant moving Cooper Bissell to the injured reserve list. Bissell's injury isn't minor, and while the initial reports suggested a timeline of 4 games, the expectation now is that he could miss anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. The hope is to have him back closer to the 6-week mark, but this is a significant blow as he is an important part of the rotation. His absence opens the door for others to step up and also puts more pressure on the coaching staff to carefully manage Clowney's integration into the defense. This is a player who hasn't been through the Cowboys training camp, hasn't been part of the preseason, and hasn't yet adapted to the specific defensive schemes and rotations that will be crucial once he's on the field. Clowney himself addressed the media after signing and acknowledged that while he expects to play, the number of snaps he will see this week remains uncertain. He emphasized that although he's been working out all summer, there's a big difference between training and playing actual football, facing hits, and enduring the kind of physicality that comes with game situations. We've seen it countless times. Players come off long breaks or from free agency and immediately face soft tissue injuries because the body is adjusting to the rigors of competitive play. At 32, managing that ramp-up is even more critical. Clowney wants to be effective and stay healthy, and that means gradually building his workload rather than rushing him onto the field. From the coaching perspective, Brian Schottenheimer indicated that decisions regarding Clowney's snap count don't have to be finalized immediately, which makes sense. They need to evaluate him in practice, see how he responds to game speed drills, and figure out the right balance for his first few appearances. The expectation among analysts and fans is that Clowney will likely see a limited number of snaps initially, probably ranging from 15 to 25 per game as he acclimates to the defense. This conservative approach should help prevent injury while still giving him opportunities to impact games and show that he can be One of the most encouraging things Clowney said is that he sees this as an opportunity to prove himself in 7 primetime games. He is motivated, confident, and eager to show the football world that age is just a number. He referenced other elite athletes who have performed at a high level well into their 30s, emphasizing that he still has plenty of physical ability and competitive fire. This attitude is exactly what the Cowboys need right now because their defense has talent, but also needs leadership and someone who can make game-changing plays consistently. Clowney's addition could reshape the defensive line, and with his experience, he could also provide guidance to younger players learning how to navigate complex offensive schemes. Looking at the defensive end rotation so far this season, Sam Williams has logged the most snaps with 80, followed by Marshawn Nellen with 56. Dante Fowler has seen limited action compared to expectations, and Donovan, Israel, and James Houston have had fewer snaps. Though Houston made a significant impact in the most recent game, adding Clowney to this mix will not only deepen the defensive line, but also create new strategic possibilities for the coaching staff. The flexibility in snap counts, positions, and matchups allows the Cowboys to adjust mid-game and exploit mismatches, and having a player of Clowney's caliber opens up those options. He might end up being among the top 2 or 3 defensive ends on the roster, depending on how quickly he adapts and performs, which is a major boost for a defense that has been searching for consistency. On the offensive side, the Cowboys are also managing injuries and rotations that could affect their game plan. Kavonte Turpin, who plays a crucial role as the 4th wide receiver and kick returner, has been dealing with a trap muscle injury. While initially concerning, the update suggests that this isn't a neck injury, and he is expected to be limited in practice, but still available for the upcoming game. Turpin's speed and ability to return kicks make him a valuable asset, and if he is unable to play, players like Jalen Tolbert or Ryan Flenoy may step in. The Cowboys' ability to maintain depth at receiver while managing injuries will be critical, especially given the importance of explosive plays in the passing game. Turpin has already racked up impressive yardage on returns, and his presence on special teams adds a layer of threat that the opposing team has to account for on every kickoff. Meanwhile, Cooper Bissell's injury has been clarified as a lateral ankle sprain with a small foot fracture rather than a high ankle sprain, which doesn't change the recovery timeline, but does help fans understand the nature of his absence. Managing these injuries while integrating a new defensive star like Clowney is a delicate balance. the Cowboys have to be careful with snap counts, rotations, and player health to avoid further complications. At the same time, they have a chance to showcase new strategies, mix in fresh talent, and make adjustments that could have long-term benefits as the season progresses. Clowney's signing represents more than just an addition to the roster. It's a statement. It signals that the Cowboys are committed to improving their defense, addressing gaps, and putting players on the field who can make an immediate difference. The team is juggling multiple challenges from injuries to snap management, but the potential upside is enormous. Fans should be excited not only about the talent Clowney brings, but also about the flexibility and strategic options his presence creates. With upcoming matchups, including primetime games that will test the team's mettle, the Cowboys are positioning themselves to compete at a high level, and Clowney could be the catalyst that elevates the defense from good to great. Meanwhile, the offensive adjustments with players like Turpin returning from injury or stepping aside for backups will continue to shape game planning. The Cowboys are relying on their depth, and every snap counts in the early part of the season. The dynamic between integrating Clowney on defense and maintaining effectiveness on offense will be a key storyline moving forward. How the coaching staff balances practice reps, game day rotations, and player health could define the trajectory of the season, especially in games where matchups are tight and every advantage matters. Now, looking ahead to the upcoming games, the real question becomes how Clowney will influence the Cowboys' defensive performance against teams like the Chicago Bears. The Bears present a multifaceted challenge with a mix of physicality in the trenches and skilled players capable of breaking big plays. Clowney's ability to collapse the pocket and disrupt timing for the quarterback will be crucial. Even in a limited snap count, his presence alone changes the way offensive lines approach their blocking schemes. Defenders like Sam Williams and James Houston already provide solid pressure, but adding Clowney gives the Cowboys an element of unpredictability. Opponents now have to account for a player who can create chaos, force hurried throws, and contribute to run stopping on critical downs. One of the interesting aspects of Clowney joining the roster mid-season is that he hasn't had the benefit of preseason games to shake off the rust in live action. While he has been training and staying in shape, game speed is an entirely different challenge. The first few snaps will be telling. Coaches will likely ease him in, perhaps in passing situations or sub-packages designed to maximize his impact without overexposing him to injury risk. This cautious approach is necessary not only because of his age, but also to ensure the Cowboys don't sacrifice him for the sake of immediate results. Even limited action can have a ripple effect as his presence allows other players to operate with more freedom. For instance, Marshawn Nellen and Donovan Ezra may find better lanes to pursue the quarterback or make plays against the run because offensive lines are forced to double-team or at least adjust protection schemes to account for him. Meanwhile, the offensive side has its own set of challenges with Kevonta Turpin's recovery and the depth at wide receiver. Turpin's role as both a receiver and kick returner cannot be understated. His speed and ability to create explosive plays are integral to maintaining momentum on special teams. If he is limited or unable to play, the Cowboys will have to rely on Jalen Tolbert or Ryan Flenoy to step up. Both players bring different skill sets, and their integration will impact not just passing options but also field position battles. Kickoff and punt returns have become even more critical under the new rules, and having a dynamic player like Turpin can create swing opportunities that shift the momentum of a game in the Cowboys' favor. The coaching staff will have to weigh these considerations carefully, deciding whether it's worth limiting his snaps in the offensive rotation to preserve his ability to contribute on special teams. Injuries are always a balancing act, and the Cowboys are navigating multiple situations simultaneously. Cooper Bissell's lateral ankle sprain and foot fracture keep him out for an extended period, meaning that rotations along the defensive line must be optimized. Players like Sam Williams and James Houston will see more consistent snaps, but integrating Clowney provides a fresh dimension that could elevate the overall performance. It's a chess match every week, as coaches determine which players can handle pressure, maintain stamina, and execute schemes effectively. This kind of careful management will be vital if the Cowboys want to remain competitive over the long stretch of the season, especially in high-stakes games where every possession matters. Clowney's mindset also deserves attention. His focus on primetime games, his belief in still having a full tank of energy, and his desire to prove himself shows that he's coming in with a competitive edge that can energize the entire team. A veteran with this kind of mental toughness can influence the locker room beyond just what happens on the field. Younger players often mirror the intensity and preparation of veterans like Clowney, which can translate into better overall execution for the Cowboys. Leadership, in addition to talent, becomes a subtle but critical factor, especially in tight games or situations where the team is facing adversity. Defensive schemes under Brian Schottenheimer have already demonstrated flexibility, and Clowney's presence allows for even more creativity. Line shifts, stunts, and complex blitz packages become more viable when a player of his caliber is on the field. This forces opponents to prepare for multiple scenarios and can lead to breakdowns in protection, missed assignments, or opportunities for turnovers. In games that are expected to be close, a single impactful play from Clowney could swing momentum, energize the crowd, and set the tone for the rest of the matchup. His ability to contribute against both the run and pass makes him a dual threat that can change how offenses play week to week. At the same time, it's important to consider the integration of Clowney with the other defensive linemen. Sam Williams has shown he can handle a high volume of snaps, and James Houston has made his presence felt, particularly in recent games. Adding Clowney doesn't just create more options, it also creates potential rotations that keep players fresh and allow the coaching staff to exploit specific matchups. Whether it's on early downs, passing situations, or goal line stances, having multiple high-level pass rushers allows the Cowboys to adapt dynamically. This kind of depth is essential in a league where injuries, fatigue, and high-tempo offenses can quickly expose weaknesses. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The rumor mill in the NFL never sleeps, and the latest whispers have sent shockwaves through both fan bases and front offices alike. Could it really be happening? Reports are swirling that Saquon Barkley, the explosive running back whose name has long been synonymous with highlight reel runs and raw athleticism, may soon find a new home in Dallas. Yes, Dallas, the very heart of the Cowboys' identity, a franchise that has always prided itself on star power and offensive firepower. The idea is as tantalizing as it is controversial. Barkley, once the face of New York football, potentially slipping on the navy and silver of the Cowboys, would not only shift the balance of power in the NFC East, but also reignite one of the fiercest rivalries in the sport. Cowboys fans are already dreaming of Barkley bursting through the line of scrimmage, juking defenders out of their cleats, and reigniting memories of the glory days when Dallas dominated opponents on the ground. For years, the franchise has searched for that spark in the backfield, a player capable of not just moving the chains, but redefining games. Barkley, if healthy and unleashed, could be precisely that. But rumors have a way of teasing more than they deliver. The financial hurdles are significant, and questions about Barkley's durability linger. Has he truly put the injuries behind him? Can the Cowboys' offensive line, once the league's gold standard, return to form and provide the lanes that allow a player like Barkley to shine? These doubts may not silence the buzz, but they temper it, reminding everyone that the NFL is as unforgiving off the field as it is between the lines. Still, the thought of Saquon Barkley wearing the star is almost too enticing to ignore. Rival fans shudder at the prospect. Analysts debate its plausibility, and Cowboys loyalists whisper with growing excitement. For now, it remains just that, a whisper, a rumor, a tantalizing what if. But in the NFL, where dreams and drama intersect every Sunday, sometimes the wildest rumors are the ones that eventually come true. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next.